live.
We're live, yes.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning. How's it going? I mean, it's morning here.
I'm so excited for this live because I always wanted to go next to you. And there couldn't be a better time and a better topic to go live
Good.
on.
I, th- I think, yeah, definitely talking about like better time. I feel like everyone around is be like, oh my God, how do I get this done? How do I get out of like the quarantine rut? And I'm not being productive during quarantine. I feel like maybe we're a little late in talking about this, but like better late than never.
No. Things are still slowly opening up. Everybody, the new struggle has just begun.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's super interesting topic, exciting topic. And plus, like I always fangirl on your productivity. So I'm very excited to be on the other end, to question you and challenge you
I'm
on,
excited. I'm excited to
on
share all of my
productivity
tips.
hacks that you have for us. Let me fix my camera. Okay, cool. So, productivity. Productivity is the main topic for the day, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And productivity is something that we all want in our life. We all
Mm.
every day want to be productive,
Huh.
but we all go through Monday syndrome. We all try, and then we're like, okay, from Monday on, I'll do da 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 da. And we sometimes succeed, sometimes fail, sometimes it goes well till Wednesday, and Thursday is like a whoop.
Huh.
So productivity and inconsistency always go hand in hand.
I
You want to
agree.
communicate with someone, like I've seen you. Hey, we didn't introduce ourselves.
It's okay. I'm guessing people know us by now. I feel like we spend a lot of time on Instagram, but hey, my name is Akriti.
Hi, my name is Subha. We're both actors for TPP. But rolling back in.
Huh.
So I think productivity and inconsistency go hand in hand.
Hmm.
And it's yin to yang in like a love hate relationship with the both. But I mean,
Hmm.
I've seen you and you've been, at least, from where I see, you always try yourself to be super productive and you always deliver. So, what is the big take that you have here on productivity? What importance and role does productivity play in your life?
I think I was not always like this. So from what you've seen on Instagram and what I talk about productivity on Instagram, I feel like everyone tends to get an opinion or like an impression that, oh my God, Akriti is so productive. And then there's a bias. Okay, either you are productive or you are not productive. And that's not true. I was not always a productive person, I would say. Like I've had to build a muscle for productivity is
Yeah.
how I'd put it. So which is like I think a very great place to start this talk because um, I think people get demotivated just by the fact that, oh, I'm not a productive person because I'm not able to like finish the tasks that I want to do and I'm not able to prioritize. So I'm not a productive person. I'm not even going to try. But productivity, I think, is like a habit that you have to build, and like any other habit. And if you spend time on social media, the thing that they say about, it takes you at least 3 weeks to build a habit is true.
Yeah.
I have tried it, tested it, and it works. If you can push yourself to be productive, doesn't have to be like mighty productive that you have to like finish everything that you wanted to do in that day, but even if you finish the one task that you think you should do that day and then do that consistently for a couple of weeks, for a couple of months, you're going to build systems. And I think that's what important. Productivity for me is not about checking that task list off, which it kind of is, but it's
Yeah.
about having that system that gets things done and helps
It,
me get things
yeah.
done.
It's a habit.
It's a
It's something.
habit.
It's
Yeah.
something that's not going to happen overnight.
No, not at all. Like you have to work for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all have that perception that, like I think we fail because we set such high goals for ourselves and we want to instantly see it. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a habit, it's a system. But there's just so much out there. I mean, like, at least for me, I mean, uh, there's so many things that you can do to be productive. There's so much out there. There's so many tools, methods, theories, etc. Sometimes when you're really trying to streamline everything, it's just really hard to maneuver through it all. So, I mean, how legit at the end of and every it's like the diet thing, like every
Yeah.
diet is different. Everything is, you don't know what suits you, what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
How where does the eligibility, how legit, and what actually tools do for us?
Huh.
What tools do you use?
So, good question. And I love the analogy between diet, like, how you can't have the same diet for every person. Every diet is different. Similarly, like all of these, even today I'm going to be talking about productivity tips and, tricks and hacks. But all of these things are things that work for me. And you have to like pick and choose and you have to try. And, which is why I talked about having a system. And I think we're going to keep going back to that system. Like, we'll go back and forth about that system. Okay, I can give you everything that works for me, and there's going to be 100 other people who are going to tell you, but the same things are not going to work with for all of
Work for
us. So
Yeah,
that's why you have to build a habit and you have to try things, like give them time. And it's not like not that's also a paradox. Okay, like I find something new that I'm going to do. I found this trick that Akriti gave me. So how long should I try it for before I know that it has failed? Should I
how
try it
they
for
say.
2 days? Should I try it for 7 days? Should I keep trying it for 7 years and then realize it hasn't worked for me? So I think what I do is I use something for like
Track down, then track down Akriti and be like,
huh,
Akriti said this on YouTube.
I wasted my 7 years on you. So
Yeah,
I think 15 days, like 2 weeks, is a good time for you to understand whether or not something works for you because it takes time to get used to a new system. Like something as
yeah,
easy as drinking water every day. Like as a habit.
yeah,
You can't just wake up every morning and be like, oh, I've built a habit. I'm going to drink water every day. It takes like a lot of like consistent effort and very mindful effort. You need to know that you're putting the effort towards drinking water every day. Same thing with like a productivity trick or tip. If you decide to work on something that this is what you're going to do, you have to try it for a couple of days very mindfully every single day to make sure that it sticks. And you'll realize in due time like whether that sticking will definitely happen if you're doing it for 2 weeks, but you'll know
yeah,
whether or not it's working for you, like, but you need it to stick first. So I'd say yes, there is a lot out there, and you definitely have to figure out what works best for you, and the only way you can do that is by trial and error. You will have to figure out what is there,
yeah.
what is not there, and then
Eventually, it's going to be beneficial. I mean, like I mean, it's going to take time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but then once you have the jackpot, I think you're done. Like you're sorted, you're golden for life. But
yeah.
then again, I mean, so this is something like from what I get, like it's like there's something short term, there's something
Huh,
long term. I
huh,
mean, we're taking baby steps to reach somewhere that we have.
huh.
So how do we actually like put it together? What should be our vision, and how do we envision this or differentiate between, or so we are not over promising and underachieving? How do we do the short term versus long term? How do we build that in our heads?
So I think the way I see it, and you brought something up very important, like when you talked about in the last question, that you sometimes build up systems that set you up for failure. We as humans do not like failure. Of course, everyone wants to succeed, and even psychologically, every single small win that you have adds up to build your confidence and boost your confidence. And that's the same case with productivity. You have
Yeah,
to give yourself those small wins in order to stick to a habit, because when you see that it's working, it's similar with workout, right? When you
yeah,
start working out, you're like, I don't want to do it, but then you start seeing effects like whether it's
yeah,
the weight loss or whether it's like inch
yeah,
loss or whether you're getting fitter, and then you're like, oh my god, I want to do this, because you see those small wins, right? Similarly with productivity. So okay, now this is very controversial in the sense this is also one of those things that work for some people, don't work for some people. Everyone has different ways of it working for them. I'm going to tell what works for me. So when
yeah,
I don't have very long term goals. If you ask me what is my 5 year goal, it is going to be something that's very vague, which is fine. Like you can't be very specific about 5 years, 2025 June. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is what is going to be happening for me. It's, I personally think that like that's
yeah.
not the way. You have to give yourself like some
I
beginning,
never
some
understood
like
why to ask the question in interviews either. What are you like? Where do you see yourself? It's just like a ballpark thing, maybe, but then it's always something
I
very
know
different.
people who like very like stringent ki, like, oh, 5 years में तो I'm going to be doing this, and they work towards that. I personally don't think that it works for me. If I want
Yeah,
to be productive, if I want to get work done, I have to have things which are very actionable. And that's one tip that I definitely have. When you have things that you need to finish, break them down into tasks that are actionable, something that you can work on, and something that you have a definition of done for. Like, if there's any software engineers listening to this, they'll know that when we go for like sprint plannings, you can't really put a ticket in until you know how that ticket is called completed. And
Yeah.
similarly in life, I feel like, so how I break down my goals, the maximum I go is like a monthly goal, and that also is something that I will have like a deadline for. Oh, I have a deadline, so I know I have to finish it in a month. But
Do,
mostly I what
do you have an example in mind?
I mean, like just like a school project, right? Like I'm still in school, so if I have a project and I know that it's due in like a month, or if I'm
Yeah.
sending a paper out for publication and I know the deadline is in 2 months, that's the kind of goal that I have. That okay, by April end, my
Yeah.
first draft of this manuscript is due, so I have to get this done. But other than that, I don't think I have like very long-term goals. My goals are weekly goals. I will split everything down to things that I can do in a week.
Yeah.
How that works is I have a brain dump. So everything that I need to do goes into this thing that I call a brain dump, so that everything is not stuck in my brain. And I think that's another tip that I'd want to give, that if you think that you're really smart and you have a lot of brain power, good for you, but you don't have enough brain power to remember everything that you need to do. If you think
Yeah.
of something that you need to do, write it down somewhere, whether like in your notes app on your phone, or like I have a notebook, I write it in my notebook. So everything that I know I need to do, I will just like put it into my brain. And I call that the brain dump, that I have to get this done. I'm going to put it into my brain dump. And then, I
Yeah.
pick things out of my brain dump and, be like, okay, this is what I need to finish during this week. So I have weekly goals. So for example, now say I'm like making a post for the Popori project, right? So I know I have to make 3 posts a week. I'll put it into like my weekly goals that okay, these are the 3 things that I need to finish this week. And then I break
Yeah.
it down further into my daily goals that okay, so if I have to make a post that goes up on Wednesday and I have a lot of work to do on Tuesday, but not so much on Monday. So I'm going to make one post on Monday, which will go up on Wednesday. So, like daily tasks. So
Yeah.
I feel like having a big task is very difficult. And like I was talking about, as humans, we like to succeed, we like getting rewards, and we like having small wins. That's another thing. You can't reward yourself for something that's not going to happen for another 5 years, but you
Yeah.
can reward yourself that for things that you finish today. So I think what works for me is having this reward system, that once I'm done finishing things that I needed to do today, I'm going to reward myself. Those
Yeah.
rewards might not always be apt. Now, if I finished my workout, I'm going to eat an entire packet of M&Ms. If I finish the things on my to-do list, if I'm productive for 2 hours, I'm going to spend like 30 minutes on Instagram after that. It's a reward. It's probably not like the best reward, but it is a reward, like
No.
with time. And with
It,
time, those
it's
rewards start
hard.
getting better.
It's really hard
What
to have
is?
to, I mean, have reward system like that and actually stick to it.
It
Like,
takes
okay,
practice.
yeah,
This is going to be a common theme throughout this talk, that when, and I feel like it's important to like talk to someone and have like a real person tell you this, rather than you reading it off a book. When you read it off a book, it seems very idealistic. Oh, practice, oh, 2 weeks, and only then it's going to stick. But like I'm telling you, like out of like sheer experience, like it comes out of practice. And I'm not saying that the first time I rewarded myself with 30 minutes of Instagram, I didn't spend an hour and a
it
half on it. Of
worked.
course I did. Of course I just kept scrolling and kept
Yeah,
watching videos. But I think with time you realize what your priorities are,
yeah.
and that helps you
The
make like
importance of your time. You start valuing your time
hmm,
once you
hmm,
actually start doing that. I see you use a whiteboard.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
kindly tell us a little bit about your whiteboard.
So my whiteboard is my best. This is actually not mine. This is my husband's whiteboard, but I have the same exact whiteboard. My whiteboard is my best friend.
Yeah.
Two things. I also have my notebook with me. It's not because for the video, but I always have this notebook with me. Um, call me
Lord,
old
please.
call me old school or call me archaic. I'm a software engineer, but I will not use apps to make me productive. Like that's just not going to happen. I have tried it and I have failed miserably. So I think these are the two things that I have in my toolbox that work best for me to make me productive. So let's start with the whiteboard first. So I was talking about my brain dump, right? So my
Yeah.
whiteboard is my brain dump. I let's also talk about something else before that. I feel like if you're anything like me, you will try to make your system so perfect, like system for productivity so perfect, that you're going to spend so much more time on making the system than actually implementing the system. And that's like the biggest barrier in you getting your things done. So the reason I got the whiteboard is that it's not permanent. If I have a brain dump that's like in an app or that's in a notebook, I'm going to spend so much time making that page beautiful and writing things so beautifully and making sure it all. And I tried it. I tried making that, full bullet journal, like flip through,
Yeah,
having a June page that's beautiful, August page that's beautiful. Just doesn't work for me. Having
I think.
a whiteboard is just like mentally keeping you sane that it's all going to get erased
Yeah,
anyway. So it doesn't
yeah,
have to be perfect, it just has to work for you. So what I do is my whiteboard is like my brain dump. If I have like I split it up into different parts, and like this is one corner in the side which is my brain dump. Like if I come up with something new, if I can place it on one of the other sections in my whiteboard, well and good. If not, if I think that something more long term and I don't necessarily have to do it right now, but it's something
yeah,
that I should keep in the background of my head. So like say there's a conference that I want to attend end of year, but the
yeah,
applications for it are not due for another 6 months. So it's not
yeah.
something that I need to finish right now, but it's something that I shouldn't forget. So I will put it on my whiteboard, and like it's just going to be there as a brain dump, but I'm not going to remove it. What more
So,
specifically I use it? Yeah. So what more specifically I use it for is my weekly and monthly goals. So like if there's something I know I need to finish this week, so say like, we have our weekly potpourri calls, and I know I have to make like a Thursday post, a Friday post, a Saturday post. I'll put that on my whiteboard. Okay, like this needs to get done this week. Then say for work, if I have a design document that's due, I'll put it like for flat iron design document and say like 3 bullet points for what needs to be in that design document. Then
yeah,
say so more actionable, like my the things that I put on there are not like, oh, workout 3 times a week. That never happens, because like the workout 3 times a week will become, oh, I will work out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but then Friday comes, oh, I didn't finish workout one time, it's okay, I'm not even gonna finish workout like the 2 more times. So it's like more actionable,
yeah.
that workout on Thursday, or like do go for a run on Tuesday, like so more actionable things go on there.
Or like,
And
okay,
then
you have today and
huh,
forget
yeah.
to.
No. So today is where my notebook comes. So like since that is something that's in my face all the time, so I know that those are the things that I need to do. And this is where I was talking about how you can't have everything in your brain. So if there's like
Yeah,
15 things I need to get done during the week, I am liable to forget 4 or 5 things, because I can't remember 15 things that I need to do.
yeah.
So what that whiteboard helps is like it's something that's in my face. I know things that I need to do, so I don't forget them. Then from there, I have like daily tasks lists. I'm gonna My task lists look like this. So every day, this is not when I wake up in the morning. I make my task lists the night before, so I know
Yeah,
how I need to structure my time the next day. So say last night. So last night was Friday night, right? So Friday night I sat down and I took up things from that whiteboard to my Saturday list. Okay, like these are the things that I can do on Saturday. So I also have to, account for, okay, it's a Saturday, I might go out for a drive, I might need to spend time with family. So how much is it realistically that I can put into my task list?
yeah.
And that's another thing, that your task lists need to be realistic. You can't be
Realistic.
like, oh, I'm going to put like 8 things on my task list, I'm going to finish all of them, and then I'm going to be productive. It just doesn't work like that. It takes a lot of time and practice. Again, we're going coming back to practice to understand how many tasks you can efficiently put in a day,
Yeah,
and different things work for different people. For me, it's 4. I will put 4 things on my task list that I know I definitely need to finish. And then maybe 2 more, which are okay to have, like good to have. If I finish, well and good. If I don't finish, I can push them on to next day, it's fine. But like the most important tasks that I need to do go on my task list. And that's what I use my notebook for.
yeah.
So that's my
I think I would
whiteboard that,
too. For me, I every morning when I wake up, I need my diary and I need to write down. Okay, so da 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 da. I need to do, and I think I would die without my diary.
yeah,
I
me
would
too.
die with
This goes everywhere with me. Like this is always in my
exactly
bag. I can't.
everywhere with me. It
I
has
can't. This
everything
goes.
I need, and every day, even when I have like literally nothing to do,
Yeah.
like you have. I think I really need to adopt this habit, like to have just 3 or 4 things on my tasks, to find the right number of tasks
Yeah.
that really works for me, because for me, I'm more like I over flood my like to-do list, and then I have like a panic attack, and then I'm motivated to be like, okay, if you don't finish this, you're like,
Yeah.
you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
But but like that brings like the one question I have, like it's just like
Huh.
I'm spitballing right now. What motivates you to even do this? I mean, usually when we want to be productive, it's like some trigger, something that we do, and then we
Huh.
fail because it's a temporary thing. But to do it every day, I think you need massive motivation. So, what motivates you to actually do it every day?
That's a good question. Um, I
Question
think
two.
I don't strive to be productive. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I have never called myself a productive person. I don't like, I think if you go back to the Instagram stories I put like 2 days back, not once did I call myself productive because I don't strive for productivity. Like other people see me doing the work and they're like, oh, you're so productive. You get so much work done. How do you get it done? But for me, the end goal is not productivity. And I think that helps my case a lot. For me, the end goal is getting the work done. Like,
Yeah.
if there are
Do
things
what you
that I need, yeah. And, like there are things I need to do. And I think yeah, I think if I take something up, I want to finish it just because it's my responsibility to finish it, and I will do everything that I can to finish it. And that's how I structure my tasks and to-do lists and things like that. But if you keep your goal on, oh, my goal is to be productive, that's not actionable, right? And I think that's what keeps me motivated, that I have actionable tasks. Like there are things that I want to do. My goal for the day my goal for the day is not I want to be productive. My goal for the day is not something abstract. My goal for the day is not I want to be fit. My goal for the day is not I want to uh, eat better. My goal for the day is that I need to finish these 4 tasks because they will help me finish XYZ. My goal for the day is to go out for a 30-minute run. My goal for the day is to not have any sugar.
That's where you
Yeah.
break my.
That was an example. I don't think I did. Actually, that's not true. Maybe we can talk about like the habit tracker here. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
forgot.
I wanted to say this. I mean, like apps, you just mentioned apps, that there are too many things, and we're just so stuck to our technological bound world with our phones and everything. And there are like 5,000, sometimes even on Instagram, when I get these suggestions,
Huh,
like download this
huh,
app, that, vagera, to
huh,
be more productive or to organize
huh,
better. How
huh,
efficient apps at the end of the day. I'm not a tech I mean, I'm not a techie person. I love my diary. I need to write it down. So I don't use any actually, but I want to know how beneficial are they, so, and if I should be using one.
no, so again, like things that work for me might not work for you. Things that don't work
Yeah.
for me might work for you. I'm going to talk about what works for me and what doesn't. Apps do not work for me. I have tried them. You name a to-do list app and I have tried it, and none of them work for me. And I
I
think
I downloaded an app, I remember, to remind me to drink water. At some point, I got so tired of that notification voice because it always sounds like someone's peeing. It's like, and I'm like, okay,
know about
I
that
just
app.
get rid of this app. I drink
I
water and I have to
I
drink
know
water
about
to
that app.
get out of my phone.
Yeah, no, so no, it doesn't work for me. I've tried to-do lists, I've tried habit trackers, I've tried reminders like that, and I feel like they're too much. I'm like my brain can't take so much stimulation throughout the day. Like for me, they're just too much, and I feel like I said, I'm the kind of person who wants to use everything perfectly, and for someone like me, it becomes even worse because I'll try to squeeze the most out of that app and I'll try to
Yeah.
use it the most efficiently. And in order to make the system efficient, I'll forget what I'm using that system for. And that's not okay. So I
Yeah.
stick to, so I've used habit trackers. I've used like, the water app. I know water app you're talking about because I've used it. I've used to-do lists. I've used like, at least I've paid like premium subscriptions for all these apps because, you know,
No, no, no.
paying is
Pain.
better. Like maybe I will get premium features which are going to be better for me, but none of them work. And I think the way this notebook, like how beautifully my brain dump page.
I love it. I asked you to send a picture. You sent me a picture. It's nice.
So So things like that basically. Like I feel like the way a notebook works, because it's so fuss free, I don't have to work on making this perfect. I don't have to think about making the system perfect. I don't have to worry about what goes wrong. How can I squeeze more work out of it? How can I make it more efficient?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you just writing everything down and like checking things off is as efficient as I can get. As it
Yeah.
can get. So in terms of
Yeah.
the tools that work for me, I think so I've already talked about like the whiteboard and the notebook that I use for
Yeah.
my daily tasks. Something that I've started doing recently is making like a habit tracker. So it's very simple. So it's like the tasks that you want to do here on the left, and then there's
Yeah.
like a column for each
Good.
day. So this goes from 1 to 30. And like
Yeah.
every night when I'm making my to-do list, right, for the
Yeah.
next day, I just
Yeah.
go ahead and see what are the things that I did in that day. Like, and because I'm gonna see these tasks every day before I go to bed, they're kind of stuck in my head that okay, this is
Yeah.
something that I need to check off before I go to bed, so I need to finish it. So
Yeah.
things like wake up at 6, meditate, run, do a strength training, do gratitude, take an Instagram picture. That's one of my things that I need to do during the day. Take an Instagram picture. Have no sugar,
Need-
do a Coursera course. I'm mentoring for a few kids. So, like, did I do anything related to the mentoring that day? Read, and I'm learning Spanish. So, like, did I do any Duolingo?
How
So
to
these are
Spanish?
habit trackers in the sense that I don't have to do all of these every day, but if I do, I know my habit's going to become stronger. And then like I go ahead and like, color them out, whatever I did. And just by this, I can see like how consistent I was with a particular habit. Reading, I've been pretty consistent. I've been reading every day. Meditation is like zero. I just meditated for like 2 days.
You're already pretty
So,
chill. Oh,
oh, well, you should ask my husband. And that's you should live with me to figure that out.
everything
So,
is super chill till we start panicking. Once the panic.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that's the thing. So like I avoid using apps because I feel like they make me like it's very counterproductive for
Yeah.
me. But just like having systems like this, and again, like I say, it's taken me years to like come up with the system. I've tried all of the apps and like failed miserably. And that's how I came to this system. Okay, like this is what works for me and this is
This is
what
what was
I'm gonna do. Yeah.
the whole thing that like short term it might be a little frustrating to have like this. Okay, 2 weeks this plan then doesn't work,
Hmm.
and then in the long run it'll be worth it. But okay, so I want to also, I don't know if you'll be comfortable with this, but I want to also highlight the fact that guys, Akriti uses a timer. So she sets a timer to remind herself that the task is done, and now she can Instagram for 30 minutes and then another timer. So what is this timer thing? What is this timer
Like
shenanigan?
I'm very comfortable talking about it, mostly because it works for me. If it didn't work for me, I'd be very embarrassed that I have like I should have brought that timer also. I feel like I'm using all of these props. I should have had that timer also with me.
I'm going to ask you to send me the picture
Uh,
of
I,
the habit tracker.
I said you have it. I should have done it. I should have had my timer. I'm not on my desk. Otherwise, it's always on my desk. So I have this like physical
To only,
timer. And you can use. That's also another thing. The reason I don't like using apps is because there is so much distraction on the phone. I will go to the app, but my hand will go to Instagram after that. Like,
notification and gone.
so like that's one reason I don't like using apps. Like there's so much. So you can easily use a timer on your phone. But the reason I will not use the timer on my phone is because when I turn the timer on my phone, I'm going to go to an app, and that makes
Yeah.
no sense. So I have a physical timer. You can put timers up to an hour long on it, so like it's by the minutes. So I know a lot of people like know about the Pomodoro system. I don't use a Pomodoro system in the sense that it's not like 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest, 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest. I just feel 25 minutes is not enough for me to get any work done. It just doesn't happen in the field of work that I'm in. And again, this is something that I've learned through practice. I tried 25 minutes, didn't work for me. So I have random blocks of time depending on what I'm doing. So say I'm writing a design document, I know that I can't write it for more than 30 minutes. So it will be like, okay, I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes. I'm going to
Yeah.
finish writing the doc for 30 minutes. And those, just because the timer is in my face, I can't
Yeah.
do it. I don't get up to pee. I don't get up to get water. For those 30 minutes, I just have to do the task. that I have set the timer for. So for the 30 minutes, if I'm not writing the doc, I will stare at the screen. It's like a punishment for me. Either you write
Yeah.
the doc or you stare at the screen.
Oh my
But I can't
God.
use my phone. And of course, like it wasn't easy because you have to be accountable to yourself and nobody else. But then I think with time I've gotten that. So then there's things like if I'm writing some sort of code and I need to test it, I know that's going to take me longer. So that will be like probably like 45 minutes, for 45 minutes. And honestly, something like that goes by pretty quickly. It's just when it comes to writing docs that it's more difficult. And then I'll give myself a break, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'll put that break on the timer. And then at the end of 10 minutes, it will go beep, 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 beep. So I know how to get off Instagram. It's like a physical thing for
I
me
need
to know
to
that, okay,
order.
it's time.
I
It's
need
time to
to
get
order
off Instagram.
also. Oh my God. I need to order a timer now from
it,
Amazon because my
it's really
span is that of a child. Like literally, my attention span is like 10 minutes. No matter how serious the task is, ten
yeah.
minutes again.
Yeah, and I think there's I read that somewhere, and that's when I started noticing that okay, yes, this happens to me as well. So just having something physical, so, like it becomes a joke that I have a timer, but I think the entire concept behind that is that I have something physical to keep me accountable, and like
Yeah.
it's there, it's in my face, and with time you're going to get used to it, and yeah. So, and I would suggest not having tasks like more than 50 minutes like lined up on it. Like for me, I've reached 50 like after a lot of practice because I've been using this, for a while now. But I know like 50 minutes of work can be like very difficult. So like maybe start like 20, start at 25.
Yeah.
Don't like if you set up the timer for 25 minutes to work out, even if you're sitting on the yoga mat for 25 minutes, just like don't do anything else for 25 minutes. Like don't use your phone essentially. Like I think
Just,
phone is the big actually, there is one app that I like. I don't use it anymore because I use the timer and I don't really need it
yeah.
anymore. There's an app called Forest. So what that does, it's a very interesting app. I have that app on my. I'm telling you, this is like a show and tell talk. So it's an app that looks like this, and what you can do is there's a timer on it which blocks your phone. So there's a tree that so like I said 25 minutes, right? I can
It
increase it to
blocks your
like
phone.
it doesn't like block your phone, but like once you start the timer, it
Yeah.
notices when you try to get out of the app or like if a notification comes, you touch the app. So if you touch the app, it gives you 10 seconds or like 5 seconds to come back to the app, otherwise the tree dies. So basically the tree, yeah, so this is like the final tree. It starts like a seed. So when you start the timer at 0, it will be a seed,
Oh
and then
my God.
as the timer grows, the tree will grow into leaves and then a sapling and then a
Really?
small plant and then a tree. So this is also like very physical. Like if I start the timer and then for 25 minutes, but I get a notification at
Yeah.
15, if I touch the notification, my tree is gonna dry and I don't want my tree to die. So you don't use your phone. So yeah, I really like this app. It's a nice app. It works. It genuinely works. But I don't use it anymore because like I don't need to. But
Yeah.
I still
Yeah. But
have it in case I have days. But this. I think
yeah,
this app is really nice.
honest.
Yeah.
Coming to another point that I have in mind, and that is like another point of, I mean, from what you said and what I actually do. I mean, and I think it's really important also to have your sanity at the end of at the end of the day and at the end of everything. And like for instance, I'm a multitasker. I
Hmm.
have literally five things going on at the same time. I'm like
Hmm.
editing a doc in a conference call and texting and doing Instagram and cooking something on the side. But uh, that also, I think, causes inconsistency in my schedule because, like, my sleep cycle. Because I have so much on the plate, I barely go to bed. Like, and if I'm stressed out, even if I have nothing, I can't go to bed. But that just happens. Like, so for that, like, for 3 days, suppose I would be like struggling and constantly working, and then the next 2 days I'm dead. I don't have the energy, which causes inconsistency
Yeah.
in the pattern. But
Yeah.
it's also something that who I am, kind of a thing. But
Hmm.
I think what you said, like there should be 4 tasks, a number of tasks that actually
Hmm.
works for you on your list, and things you need to see, you need to figure, you need to prioritize how important. And I can't figure how to prioritize it. It's something I just can't by cuckoo head. But how important it is to prioritize, because I feel it plays a really important role in your
Yeah,
schedule and your productivity. So
yeah.
how important to prioritize?
I think my biggest priority is like definitely myself. The way that I was exactly like you. I used to be that person who was like, go, 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 go. I'm going to finish 100 things and then I'm going to drink a lot of coffee. And then third day, I'd be like, I need my bed. And then I'd sleep 15 hours straight. Um, and
Yeah,
I just figured that it's not sustainable. It's something that I can't do in the long run. And especially I think that also happened once I got married and I started living with someone. I think that's something that's very easy to do when you're living alone, and you're not accountable to anyone and you're not answerable to anyone. But when you're living with someone, your schedule needs to match up with the person that you're living with, because otherwise you're not going to have a life together.
you caught me. You said something that hits. I mean, it's been 3-4 years. I don't have a roommate. It's only because, yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
need that space to go
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It used to happen. So, like when I was in Hong Kong, you will not believe. I, I don't think we talked a lot when I was in Hong Kong, but uh, I used to be up, mostly because I had nothing else to do at home. Like I was living alone. I was like, I might as well finish work. I used to like work till like 4:30, and then like reach office at like 8:30 in the morning, and then work
yeah,
again. Oh, it's okay. Coffee. I'll drink more coffee and I'll get work done. And then I'd
yeah.
keep doing that. And then 50, I'd be like, I just need my bed. I need to sleep for like 15 hours straight. And that was my routine. Yeah, so like that was my routine, but I can't do that now, like, because I have a husband, and like I need to spend time with him, and then I have my brother here, and like he needs me, and I need them, like I need to spend time with them, and like have a family. With friends
Important
it's easy. With
social.
social obligations, honestly, it's easier because you can make a plan, you can cancel a plan, you can shift the plan to the following week. But you can't do that when you're living with someone. Like you have to have some. You'll eat together, you'll have dinner together, you'll go out for a drive together. So
Yeah,
that's when I realized that, okay, like prioritize. And I feel like I hope I had done this before, and then it wouldn't be like a learning curve now, because I think it's always important. Like it's very important to prioritize yourself. So I know my sleep is important. Like I have to get 6 to 7 hours of sleep every night. I know that taking time out for myself, and I love my husband and I love my brother, but I still think I need time for myself. So
yeah,
how do I take the time out for myself? So I think that's my first priority. Like I think my sleep schedule depends on that. That if I get to maybe 1 hour in the morning or 1 hour before going to bed, my sleep will depend on that. Like when do I get that 1 hour for myself? Or it could be anything. Sometimes I write in my gratitude journal. I think that's definitely helped me. Like my gratitude journal is my notebook. I
yeah,
don't have anything like special for it. I take out a new page and I write like 5 things that I'm thankful for today. Like I'll just do that. I'll watch something on Netflix. I'll watch something. I watch very shitty YouTube videos which my husband and brother judge me for, and I need alone time to watch them. So that's
yeah.
my alone time. So that's very important. And then I think multitasking. I don't know if it's just with us Indians or it's with like people in general. Sorry, we take pride in being multitaskers and like getting things done. Oh, I can multitask. I am a superwoman or I'm a superman. Physiologically, psychologically, with research, humans are not meant to be multitaskers. It is a complete waste of your productive time. And I read
Yeah.
that, and I read like 5 papers about it, and I'm like, oh, wow, okay. The only kind, like you can't even apparently multitask so much as you working on your laptop and like you watching TV, because you're not paying attention to just one thing in those split second that you're doing something. Either you're working or you're watching TV, and if you like
Yeah, I
split
do
that
both.
time, so, like, so say for an example, if for 1 hour I decide I'm going to work on my laptop while I'm watching TV, I'll get less work done than I split,
Yeah, of
that in
course.
30 minutes. Like 30 minutes, I'm going to work
Yeah.
on my laptop, and 30 minutes, I'm going to enjoy TV. I'm going to
Yeah.
get much more work done in those 30 minutes.
You're
So,
not doing as well. You're not
yeah, so,
watching properly
yeah,
or what.
yeah. So I feel like once I got out of that mindset that Akriti, like you can't multitask, like stop being proud of. I was very proud. Oh, I'm a multitasker. Oh,
Yeah.
I can write my PhD thesis
Yeah.
while I am preparing a presentation for my meeting, while I'm sitting in class, while I'm FaceTiming with someone. Easy.
Yeah.
Like this is me. I can do that.
Yeah.
But once I realized that I was not getting any of those things, and it was actually taking me more time than it should have, that's when like the prioritization kicked in. So my prioritization is like I said, I have a brain dump. I put everything into my brain dump, and then I prioritize in terms of when the task needs to get done. It's mostly time based. I think
Yeah.
I'm not a superhuman. I can't be like, oh, even though I don't need to get this thing done, I'm still going to do it. I can't do that. I do
Yeah.
things that need to get done because that's the amount of time I have. If something
Yeah.
needs to get done, I'm going to do it. If something that's not urgent doesn't need to get done for another 2 weeks, I'm not going to touch it for another 2 weeks. As simple as that. So
It's
that's
more
more
of a
like
concentration issue for me. I don't know why I cannot concentrate on just one thing. I
get a
just can't.
timer.
I
Get a
just
timer.
I have to get a timer. It's more like, okay, I'm on this meeting. I don't know why. I just lose my
I
interest in
think
like
with
5
meetings, yeah, like with meetings, like you
minutes.
tend to phase out. If someone else is talking, like you tend to phase out, especially when there's like multiple people, especially on Zoom.
Especially on Zoom. Even yeah, especially on Zoom. Even when I'm like, okay, reading, okay, one slide, two slide, three slide, fourth slide, I'm definitely on some other task because I cannot keep my head in one. I
Huh.
really need to work on this.
Huh.
Timers. I'm buying a
Huh.
timer.
Get a timer.
Okay. We had some questions.
Let's do
We've
it.
covered everything, right?
Huh? I
We've
I
covered.
think yeah. Those. I think the only actually let's get to the questions. If I'm able to like pick up that point in one of the questions, otherwise I'll take it
Yeah.
up later.
Yeah. So, okay. So the first question I think we would love to answer is coffee. How do you manage to drink so much coffee and still make it, still survive, still make it work?
I think I got this question because I've been like
You're
ranting
always
on and
posting
on.
something about coffee.
I'm posting about coffee, but like 3 days back, I'll tell you what happened. So I've started this like new job, and it's been stressful in the sense it's been a lot of work, and because it's new, there's like a lot of onboarding. So I've had like a lot
I
of
know.
meetings. So like it was a lot of work, and there was this one day that and I have to wake up early. I'm working East Coast timing, so I'm up by like 6 every day. I
Yeah.
don't have an option because I have a meeting at like 7:30, so I need some time, like get ready, whatever. So I usually like end up passing out by 10:30, 11:30 tops. This one day, I didn't finish my work and I went to bed at like 2 and I had to wake up at 6. So of course, like the entire day I was like on coffee because I couldn't concentrate. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I need coffee. I had like 6 cups of coffee. My last cup of coffee was at like 5:30. 6:30 I crashed. I slept. I passed out. So I think the question, Arjun sent me that question. He's like, Akriti, like, how do you manage to sleep after like drinking 6 cups of coffee and like, just
Yeah.
right after your last cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Coffee is great. I love coffee. I just don't think it affects me anymore. I think I'm immune to coffee in the sense that I'm so over caffeinated. It used to work for me. Like when I was a PhD student, it
Same.
is what kept me up
Yeah.
at nights. And it did work for me for a very long time. Now I feel like my body is so caffeinated and it is so used to
Yeah.
that much coffee that it needs like a certain amount of coffee for it to kick in. And I don't drink that much coffee anymore. Like I think 2 to 3
Really?
cups a day. And for me, that does nothing for me.
For me, I'm still on like seven cups, but then because I drink like I told you, right? You're a cold coffee person. I don't know how you drink cold coffee. I'm a hot coffee person without milk. And I need at least 7 to 8. But then I think the body gets so used to caffeine. Like I even drink a cup of coffee and in 1 hour I can go to bed very easily.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Right?
don't know. I think it's the amount of caffeine because, like, now I remember, like, I'm not proud to say this at all. I'm like
Yeah.
26 and I shouldn't be saying this. Like, last semester, I had this course and I had this midterm that I needed to finish, which I wasn't prepared for. I drank Red Bull.
Did it give you wings? Sorry.
For some reason I knew you were gonna say that, but like that kept me up. Like I couldn't sleep that night. I drank Red Bull in like the evening, and I couldn't sleep that night. I was up like very much awake. So I think that like caffeine factor still just coffee. I think coffee now I drink one because I'm addicted in the sense I love the taste of coffee. Like if I have to drink or eat something during the day, I might as well have coffee. It's like my go-to drink. But it's mostly that. Like I think just psychologically it helps me. Yo, I'm productive because I'm drinking coffee. Oh, I'm
I told you
getting
right
work
what
done.
happened
Yeah.
to me. I told you right what happened to me. I mean, okay, now that we're on it, I also want to ask another question on coffee.
Huh.
But I told you right. So for the longest time, I thought that I drink so much coffee that it is doing nothing to me anymore. And I mean, I've been drinking like 8 cups, 9 cups, and like nothing is happening, and I still
Huh.
can't stay attentive. And I
Huh.
found out I'm not drinking coffee, I'm drinking chicory. It's a different kind of a thing that tastes like coffee, but is
It
actually
doesn't
something purple. And I
doesn't
was,
have as much caffeine.
yeah. But anyway, you must have, like you say, like you have reduced your coffee. How did you reduce your coffee? How? How
Again,
did you?
practice. I think everything in my life comes down to like me making a very conscious effort towards doing it. Like
Yeah,
I make I make
commendable.
very conscious effort to do things that I want to do. So like reducing my coffee intake was one of them. I started having like very terrible headaches sometime last year.
Yeah,
It was really bad, so bad to the extent that I was in the ER twice in like 2 weeks.
good.
It was it was pretty bad. And like one of the things my doctor said was like maybe it was like too much coffee, which it wasn't. We found out later. But then one of the things that they said was, let's try and reduce like your coffee intake. So of course it was difficult because like not drinking coffee triggers my so that I think that happens even now. Like not drinking coffee triggers like if I don't have my morning cup of coffee, even though I don't need it to stay
I,
awake, it triggers my headaches. But
yeah,
I think if you can like sustain it for longer and longer. So like now, like earlier when I used to wake up, I needed like coffee before like even brushing my teeth. Like I'm gonna drink my first cup of coffee and then I'm gonna brush my teeth because I'm anyways gonna brush my teeth after drinking black
yeah,
coffee. So now I don't have my first cup of coffee until like 10. I wake up at 6 these days. I still don't drink my first cup of coffee until 10. So I make a very conscious effort to like, delay. Like if I can wait for 10 more minutes, okay, 10 more minutes. And then if I can't like sustain it anymore, okay, like fine, I need coffee. I'll
yeah.
go and drink coffee.
You need to order me.
And then during the day, I've like set timings. Ki I'm gonna have one coffee. I tried to limit it to two, so three actually. So I was like, I'm gonna have like 2 cups of coffee when I wake up because I need back-to-back coffee in the morning, and then I'm gonna have 1 cup of coffee in the afternoon. And since I know I'm only going to get like that one double shot in the afternoon, so I pace it. Ki, oh, I need it at two, but since I'm only gonna get one, maybe I should have it at three so that the effect was like last longer. So like
Your
I trick my
control is commendable. Your self control, I can't. I don't know when.
practice. It
If
came with
I
practice.
if I do half the things the way you do it, I'm
Practice,
fine.
practice. It will come. It will come. Practice. Yeah, that was the thing. That's how I paced out my coffee.
Working out. The next question was working out, and I think there was one far very like I kept always asking you how did you do it, this that, but how do you stay again, I know what you're going to say, you're going to say practice, but
But I think
how
I can give
how
like more something more
yeah,
actionable about workout. Something that I learned. I learned that earlier my thing was if I'm working out, I have to work out for an hour and I have to sweat for an hour. Only then it's considered a workout. Otherwise, it's not a workout. Same thing. So like off late I've started running. So for me, it was always I have to keep running. If I don't run for like 2 kilometers straight without stopping, then it's not running. And I
yeah,
think I've had like a mindset shift. Like that's not true. Any workout is still a workout. Like a 10-minute workout of just stretching is still a workout, and that's how you start. And that's where the topic of like small wins comes back.
yeah,
You need to give yourself the small wins. So now I'm gonna give like a very concrete example of how I started running. So I've been working out on and off for the last like 3 or 4. I started working out like I think 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been doing it on and off. Like if I'm in the mood, I'll work out. If I'm like having too much energy, I'll work out. If I don't, I won't work out, sort of a thing. But when quarantine started, I needed a new goal for myself. Where, if I'm at home, like what I want to do. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to start running. And I'm not a runner. I can work out. I can do strength training. I can like walk on the treadmill. I can go on a very long walk, but I can't run. I couldn't run. So I
yeah,
was like, I'm going to run. So I started running. And for me, it wasn't that I'm going to run for like 25 minutes, 30 minutes a day. I started with literally 5 minutes. Even if I could bring myself to go on a walk, and in that 30-minute walk, run for 5 minutes, I considered that as a win. And that's how I started. But I did it every day. That
yeah,
5 minutes. And 5 minutes, I was like, okay, yesterday I did 5 minutes. Maybe today I should do 5.5 minutes. It wasn't even like drastic change. It was like 30 seconds. And
yeah,
like today, it's been like 3 months since I've been in quarantine. I can run like 45, 47 minutes and like not get
yeah,
tired. I can still do more. Like I enjoy it now. Because what they
yeah,
say about like endorphins is true, but you don't start feeling it until you run for a while or, like until you can run like a certain distance and the endorphins actually start producing. But it started off like being consistent in the sense like start out doesn't have to be big wins. Like it's just start off small. If you want to work out and if you want to work out for like 50 minutes a day, don't set yourself up for failure by saying, oh, I'm going to start the workout for 50 minutes today. First, take
Yeah.
out 10 minutes. Like, do it for 10 minutes. You will feel better once you've done it for
Let
10
the
minutes.
ball get in
Yeah.
practice.
And then
Yeah.
tomorrow do it for 15 minutes. And then day after do it for 20 minutes until you reach 50. And then you keep doing 50. And
Yeah.
I think that works out well.
Yeah. The final question that we have, that was really helpful actually. You use Nike Run app for
Love
running?
it. Yeah. Nike Run Club. It's wonderful. It has these, I don't need them anymore because like I can just run now. Dude, I've become that person who can run even without music. I'm that person now. No, but Nike Run App has
We'll
like a lot of like
see a
guided
post when COVID is gone. We'll see a post of you running a marathon, 5K, 10K. Will be?
marathons pushing it. 10K, I don't mind. I can already do like a 5K, so that's great. But I'm pushing myself to do a 10K now. So if I can do like a 10K, that would be brilliant. But like Nike Run app has a lot of guided runs. So like someone's talking to you and like motivating you while you're running, and I think that's very helpful. And very small, like they start off at like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So like
Yeah.
it's great. It's a good app. Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
The last and final question that we have, which I think really nice, and that is switching in between tasks, which I think is really very well intertwined with how multitasking and like I think like prioritizing could go together. How do
Yeah,
you switch that?
I think it's a very good question, and that brings up the point that I was saying I might have missed and I want to pick up. Another tool that I use is not really an app. Like I use my calendar very heavily. I have to put everything on my calendar, or else I'm not gonna do it. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
There's things I can put in my brain dump, but if there's something that's like time specific, like me getting on a call or me, now that I'm here and like my family's in India, so like calling someone in India, calling my parents on an everyday basis, I am not going to do it if it's not on my app. Mostly because there's so many things to do, right? Like you
Yeah.
can't keep prioritizing. Like how do you prioritize? But if your calendar is blocked that between 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Yeah.
you have to make calls in India, then you don't schedule anything
The
for that.
psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so task switching um is, I'm not a fan, again, because when you're in the zone for something, you want to
Yeah.
finish that work, and switching your zone from, so, say I'm writing like a doc, and then
Yeah.
I want to like I get bored, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work out, and then I finish workout, and I'm like, I'm gonna come back into the zone for the doc. That doesn't happen. Like, like
Yeah.
it's not sustainable. What I do instead is something that I call time blocking. What
Yeah.
time blocking means is that you set certain times up in which you're doing things which are very similar in nature. So for
Yeah.
me, so say I'm writing a doc, but with that doc, I also have to write some code. Uh, but I'm writing the doc about the code, or like design for the code or whatever. But I'm getting bored writing the design doc. But writing code is very similar to it. So like I'm gonna
Yeah.
time block myself in the sense that between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. I'm going to do code and design. So that I'm writing design doc, but when I get bored, I can go to the code and then I can go back to the design and I can keep switching. So that kind of task switching I
Yeah.
like, and I
Yeah.
call that time blocking. And then similarly for say working out, I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna like get extremely active and like work out and things like that. So for workout, I usually keep like free rest. My time block is like say 5 to 7. 5 to 7 ke beech mein I'm gonna take my rest also, and I'm gonna put my workout also. And then within that 5 to 7, I can work out anytime. So it's not like that particular time I'm gonna work out. So instead of having like very particular time slots, like plan my day by the hour. Oh my god, this hour I'm going to do that. I instead do that in chunks, which it's a very common method called time blocking. So like basically all the tasks that you need to do which are similar in nature, you block them together and block time for them, and in that
Yeah.
time slot you try to finish all of those tasks. So it's not like micromanaging, and but it's also not like a lot of context switch. I think context switching
Yeah.
is the worst thing that can happen
It can
in
be
the
very exhausting actually.
yeah. So
Can be very.
like your brain gets used to doing something, and then you switch it to something else. That takes time. The switching takes time, and then switching back. And I think the easiest way you can understand context switching is like this remote work business that we're having right now.
Yeah.
Switching from work life to remote work was difficult, but now all of
Yeah.
us are so used to remote work that's going to be very difficult to go back to work. That's sort
Work
of like
life.
context switching on like a very larger macro scale. Like our brains get accustomed to, get used to doing certain things,
Yeah.
and just switching is difficult. So we should avoid it during the day as much as possible to get more things done, is what I'll say.
Be more productive.
Yeah.
That brings, that brings us to the end. And like always, I think every time I speak to you, I learn a lot. And I think everybody and anybody who's watching also, definitely there's so many new things that I got to know. And like something that it's not even about we can include in our lifestyle. I think to have a more sane, productive, and to do more and to enjoy more, I think we need to like inculcate all these things in our life. And
Yeah,
thank you.
of course, like I didn't want this talk to be like inspirational. Ki, oh, she's so productive, she does all of these things. So like I need to get inspired. I wanted it to be,
Yeah,
actionable things that I do, that if you listen to
yeah,
this, you can possibly like take some things back and like, implement them to actually maybe.
exactly. I mean, more than inspirational, it's something like, okay, like this can be done. I mean, that's exactly what you said. Like when you see it written in a book or some blog or like somebody just like
Yeah.
giving, oh, you should do this, you always think, okay, you can do it, but you fail, and then da da da. But then when you finally see somebody actually doing it, actually practicing it, actually content with it, and kind of like give a guidance to how you can go about it, I mean, it's beneficial.
I tried.
We try. Trying is good.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
of course, thank you for having me, and I hope it's helpful to anyone. As always, our DMs
You,
are open.
it's
Yeah.
your.
If you have like any more questions, like feel free to send them to us, and then we'll get back when we
Yeah.
do. Otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Yes. Ciao, ciao. See you on the other side.
Bye
Bye.
bye.